What if I told you there's a sports sedan with 365 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, Napa leather everywhere, a 15-speaker premium sound system, and a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty for $48,000? And it beats a BMW 330i in almost every measurable way. Sounds impossible, right? Here's the catch. It doesn't have a blue and white roundel on the hood. It's a Genesis G70. And today, we're answering the $20,000 question. Is the BMW badge worth paying extra for? I'm comparing these two cars head-to-head. Same segment, same buyers, completely different price tags. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one delivers more for your money. And the answer might surprise you. Let's break it down. Let's start with the most important number, price. The 2026 Genesis G70 3.3T Sport Prestige, fully loaded with the twin-turbo V6, all-wheel drive, and every option Genesis offers, cost $48,750. The BMW 330i xDrive M Sport with comparable options, $68,900. That's a $20,000 difference for the same segment, the same size, the same luxury mid-size sports sedan category. Now, before the BMW fans start typing angry comments, let me be clear. The 330i is an excellent car. BMW knows how to build sports sedans. They've been doing it for decades. But here's the question nobody's asking. Is it $20,000 better? Because with that 20 grand, you could buy a used Mazda Miata for weekend fun. You could fully fund a kid's college semester. You could take your family on 3 luxury vacations. Or you could spend it on a blue and white badge. So let's see what you actually get for your money with each car, starting with the specs. Genesis G70 3.3T. 365 horsepower, 376 pound-feet of torque, twin-turbocharged 3.3-liter V6, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds, quarter mile, 12.9 seconds, top speed, 167 miles per hour, electronically limited. BMW 330i xDrive, 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60, 5.6 seconds, quarter mile, 14.1 seconds, top speed, 155 miles per hour, electronically limited. Let me say that again. The Genesis is 1.1 seconds faster to 60. That's not a small difference. That's genuinely fast. The G70 has 110 more horsepower. It has a buttery smooth V6 instead of a buzzy Turbo 4, and it costs $20,000 less. Now, the BMW 330i is no slouch. It's quick, it's refined, and BMW's 8-speed automatic is one of the best in the business. But the Genesis 8-speed automatic? Also excellent. Smooth shifts, quick responses in sport mode, paddle shifters that actually feel mechanical. On paper, the Genesis wins performance, decisively. But what about on the road?
Here's where BMW fans will tell you the 330i pulls ahead. Driving dynamics. And they're not entirely wrong. The BMW 330i has that classic BMW feel. The steering is sharp. Turn-in is immediate. The chassis feels alive underneath you. It's playful, tossable, fun in a way that only rear-wheel biased all-wheel drive BMWs can be. BMW has spent 50 years perfecting this formula, and it shows. The Genesis G70? It's very, very close. The steering is weighted beautifully. The chassis is stiff. The adaptive dampers read the road and adjust in real time. In sport mode, this thing feels like it wants to attack corners. Is it as razor-sharp as the BMW? No. The 330i has a slightly more connected feeling through the steering wheel, a bit more feedback. But here's the thing. 95% of buyers won't notice the difference. You'd have to drive them back-to-back on a canyon road to feel it. And the Genesis makes up for that 5% with raw power. because when you mat the throttle in the G70, that twin-turbo V6 just pulls and pulls and keeps pulling. The BMW 330i feels quick. The Genesis feels fast. There's a difference. Plus, the G70 sounds better. That V6 has a growl that the four-cylinder BMW just can't match. So on driving experience, it's closer than BMW wants to admit, and the Genesis wins on straight-line speed and engine character. Let's talk about where you'll spend most of your time, the interior. Open the door of the Genesis G70 and you're greeted with Nappa leather, real aluminum trim, quilted seat inserts, soft touch materials on every surface you can see or touch. The dashboard layout is clean. The 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster is crisp. The infotainment screen is responsive. The front seats, 14-way power adjustable, heated, ventilated, with memory settings. The Lexicon 15-speaker sound system sounds incredible, better than most systems in $70,000 cars. Now, the BMW 330i interior. Dakota leather seats, brushed aluminum trim, BMW's latest iDrive 8 infotainment system with curved displays. The build quality is excellent. The materials are premium. Everything feels precisely assembled. But here's the truth. The Genesis interior feels just as good, maybe better in some ways. The Genesis G70 has more standard features, more soft-touch materials, more sound deadening. The BMW feels more minimalist, more modern in its design language. Some people love that, some find it cold. But in terms of actual quality, they're neck and neck. And remember, the Genesis costs $20,000 less. Standard features on the Genesis G70 3.3T Sport Prestige: 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, 14.5-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, 15-speaker Lexicon audio, panoramic sunroof, heads-up display, highway driving assist 2 with lane centering, blind spot cameras that show up in your gauge cluster, remote smart parking assist, surround view monitor, heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, wireless phone charging, all standard. BMW 330i xDrive M Sport equivalent features. Most of those are optional packages. The Live Cockpit Professional, $875. The Parking Assistance Package, $700. The Premium Package with heated seats and wireless charging, $1,000. You're adding $3,000 to $5,000 in options to match the Genesis standard equipment. And even then, the Genesis has features BMW doesn't offer at this price point, like the blind spot camera system, like the 10-year warranty. Technology-wise, the Genesis delivers more for less.
Here's where Genesis absolutely destroys the competition. Genesis warranty: 10 years or 100,000 miles powertrain, 5 years or 60,000 miles bumper to bumper, 3 years or 36,000 miles complimentary maintenance. BMW warranty: 4 years or 50,000 miles powertrain, 4 years or 50,000 miles bumper to bumper. No complimentary maintenance unless you negotiate at purchase. Let me say that again. Genesis covers your car for 10 years. BMW covers it for 4. Over 10 years of ownership, Genesis will cover oil changes, tire rotations, and any mechanical issues for free. BMW, you're paying out of pocket after year 4, and anyone who's owned a BMW knows repairs aren't cheap. Consumer Reports reliability ratings. Genesis ranks in the top 10. BMW ranks in the bottom 15. Over a 10-year ownership period, you'll save thousands on the Genesis just in maintenance and repairs. Add that to the $20,000 purchase price difference, and the Genesis becomes even more compelling. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the badge. BMW has prestige, heritage, 110 years of building the ultimate driving machine. Genesis? They've been around since 2015 as a standalone brand. When you pull up to a restaurant, people recognize the BMW. They might not even know what a Genesis is. And for some buyers, that matters. The badge is part of what you're buying. But here's the counterargument. Genesis is owned by Hyundai Motor Group, which builds some of the most reliable cars on the planet. The engineering is top-notch. The quality control is obsessive. Genesis is what Lexus was in 1989, the upstart luxury brand that proved you don't need a German badge to build a world-class luxury car. And just like early Lexus buyers felt smart for saving money, Genesis buyers are starting to feel the same way. You're not buying a lesser car, you're buying equal or better quality for significantly less money. Plus, in 5 years, when your friends are writing checks for BMW repairs and you're still under warranty, you'll feel pretty smart about your decision. Brand prestige is real, but so is financial intelligence. Fuel economy. Genesis G70 3.3T AWD, 18 city, 25 highway, 21 combined. BMW 330i xDrive, 26 city, 36 highway, 30 combined. The BMW wins on fuel economy significantly. If you drive 15,000 miles per year at $4 per gallon, the BMW will save you about $700 per year in fuel costs. Over 10 years, $7,000. Still doesn't close the $20,000 purchase price gap, but it's worth noting. Insurance costs? Similar. Both are considered sports sedans by insurance companies. Resale value? BMW traditionally holds value better, but Genesis resale is improving every year as the brand gains recognition. After 5 years, the BMW might retain 55% of its value. The Genesis might retain 48%, but you started $20,000 cheaper, so you are still ahead. Real-world cost of ownership? Genesis wins. Buy the BMW 330i if you value brand prestige above all else. You want people to know you drive a BMW. You prioritize fuel economy. That turbo 4-cylinder sips gas compared to the V6. You live in a major city where BMW service centers are everywhere. You plan to trade it in after 3 to 4 years before the warranty expires. You just love BMW's driving dynamics and you're willing to pay for it. Buy the Genesis G70 if you want the most performance for your money. 365 horsepower for $48,000 is incredible value. You care about features and technology. The Genesis is loaded compared to a base 330i. You plan to keep the car long-term. That 10-year warranty is unbeatable. You're smart with money and don't care about impressing people with a badge. You want to feel like you got a $70,000 car for $50,000. For most people, the Genesis makes more sense. The BMW 330i is a great car. It's refined, it's well-engineered, it has that intangible BMW magic. But is it $20,000 better than the Genesis G70? No. The Genesis G70 delivers more horsepower, more features, more warranty coverage, and nearly identical interior quality for significantly less money. If you're buying with your heart and you've always dreamed of owning a BMW, go for it. Life's too short to not drive what you love. But if you're buying with your brain, the Genesis is the smarter choice. More performance, more features, better warranty, lower cost. 20 years ago, people laughed at Lexus and said, it's just a Toyota. Today, Lexus is one of the most respected luxury brands in the world. Genesis is on that same trajectory, and early adopters get the best value. So here's my question for you. Would you spend $20,000 extra for the BMW badge, or would you pocket the savings and enjoy the Genesis? Drop your answer in the comments, BMW or Genesis. And be honest, how many of you had never even heard of Genesis before watching this video? If this comparison helped you, hit that subscribe button. Next week, I'm diving deep into the Genesis GV70 versus the BMW X3. That's the SUV battle. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. And remember, German luxury, Korean prices. I'll see you in the next one.